Hi, Katharina. It's nice to see you.
Hi, Natalie.
As you know, we've already had quite a few of our engineers, scientists, consultants, even some of our executives in front of the camera as part of this video series, What Speaks for Us, so our employees. And they're all very happy to talk about why they enjoy their work at DMT. That has to be partly in credit to you and the work that the team in the HR department does, and also the huge range of benefits that you offer. Can you name a few of those?
Yes, I'm happy to do that, and I'm very happy to hear that. So maybe one of the very basic things for a lot of German colleagues are the 30 days of annual leave. And because I know when I go over the contracts with, especially with international colleagues, how surprised they sometimes are. And obviously it's a very important incentive because for international colleagues, it gives them the chance to go home, to visit their family. So maybe take their family here and, I don't know, spend a couple of weeks, with their family. So that's one of the happiest messages I can send out to our future colleagues. But then there are also a lot of different ones. It's actually an entire catalog, which I'm not going to go into the detail here. But a very important one is training. So for us, it's very important that our employees and colleagues, that they keep learning. Obviously, they keep learning on the job, but also through trainings from external companies. And usually it's an annual process. So with your line manager, you take a look at what could be beneficial, what would you maybe like to do. And then once it's decided together, you can register and have an entire year to do that course until the next annual talk with your line manager. And you can start thinking again, what can be maybe improved.
So it's really continuous.
That's an annual process which we do, which we always do. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Certainly, it sounds very impressive. Do you maybe have any individual real life examples of how you've helped members of staff in the past, or how you've supported them?
There are a lot of different problems or maybe difficulties which people face when they come to Germany. And sometimes it's very basic things, but of which you don't have an understanding as long as you haven't lived in a country. And one of the things which comes to my mind is childcare. So it's a bit a complicated process in Germany due to the authorities which we have here. And we work together with an entire group of agents and organizations who help in this kind of matters. And one of them is a family service, and they help you and support you or families in finding the right childcare facility. Yeah. And that's usually quite helpful because, as long as the child isn't taken care of, the parents and the employees usually don't feel welcome here. Mm-hmm. And so that's important for us.
Yeah. So really your idea is to try and not just support the employee and their individual needs, but support the whole family.
Obviously, because we would like to encourage people to stay here longer, to grow their roots, as you say, here. And that's important that the entire family feels, will at some point starts feeling at home here. Yeah. So one of the things we also do, we usually always support the partner of our new employees, for example, in finding either a German class or maybe even a job. So for a lot of jobs in Germany, you don't need German anymore. And that's amazing. So if qualified people come to this country, it's usually more than realistic that both partners will be able to work here.
Yeah, That's great. But I imagine on the global scale that we work at DMT, and with you having to work with people from different nations and different cultures, that must bring a lot of everyday challenges to the job. How do you tackle those challenges, and does your personal experience come into that? Because I know you've lived and worked abroad yourself.
Yes, it's definitely very helpful having lived abroad and having an understanding of other cultures. So that's a good thing. And also, we work with an entire range of agents and organizations who help in different matters. For some people, it's a work permit. For some people, it's a flat in Düsseldorf because they want their kids to go to an international school here. But we have an Essen one now as well, so that's also helpful. For some people, it's a registration with the school. So whatever the needs of the new families here are, we try to support them.
And so do you find that with us being a company with our roots here in Germany, is that something that draws a lot of internationals to us? What are the benefits of working here in Germany?
I think for engineers, Germany is, I don't know, an exciting place to work. But from my experience, once we start talking to the candidates, usually what convinces the people is the know-how in our company, because it's not just DMT, GmbH. We have so many, just within the DMT group alone, we have so many different companies with different technical focuses.
Yeah.
We have the energy engineers with this very important, and very up-to-date focus on environmental topics. We have ENCOS, we have engineering surveying, and I'm probably forgetting a couple now. It's an entire group of companies where we are looking for qualified candidates.
Right.
And usually we can offer the people an interesting place where they can come and use their know-how, but also grow as experts, because they will be working in a technical hub and learn a lot from their other colleagues.
Yeah, and I guess there are also opportunities there to move and progress within the group.
Yes, this also happens a lot because sometimes, for example, due to projects, people might just go to another subsidiary of ours and work on a project there. But also sometimes it just makes more sense to change completely to a new company, depending on the change you're looking for. It might be a career move, or it might be some technical experience you want, or it might be even a client whom you really wanted to work with. Yeah. So depending on that, people obviously have the possibility to change.
Thank you very much for giving me some insights into your work and recruiting here at DMT.
Thank you very much for inviting me.